What's going on, fam? This your host, Silence is God from Silence is God channel. This the channel SIG official, knowledge and third eye open, information from the conscious Christian, your boy himself. Got the information, got the third eye open music, Silence is God SoundCloud. I deal with nothing but this type of information on this channel, so subscribe if you want nothing but this type of information. Anyway, this video is 5 of the best tips I got for you to achieve a better meditation, and it might expose some of the problems that you have, and it might answer some of the questions that you never thought you had or have right now. So let's get ready for the video. Here go the little quick intro. If you ain't subscribed before, it's because obviously you ain't give a damn. So hopefully you subscribe now and hit that like button when the video is over if you appreciate the information that I provided. Let's get it. Let's begin the video. Now, number one, when you're a beginner at meditation, sometimes you got a lot of problems because you don't understand what you're really getting into. It's a lifestyle. You have to actually practice this daily. So in this video, I'm going to expose 5 problems that beginners have and experienced people as well. Yes. Sometimes people need this information even if they're engaging in this type of activity like doing the breathing techniques and things of that nature. They need this information to actually progress, because you can know about meditation and not know about different techniques and different things to do, and it can hinder you because one might work better than the other, but you don't really know about them, or you just don't have somebody to explain them and well enough for you to even be like, you know what, maybe I should try this or not. Now, the number one problem if you having a problem with meditation is because you probably need to try different techniques. People don't know about the 4-7-8 technique, where you hold your breath, breathe, and then you breathe in for 4 seconds, hold your breath for 7 seconds, breathe out for 8 seconds, and then as you progress, you be able to change the times and stuff like that as you become more experienced. But then you got the do nothing technique, you got the listen to your breath technique, you got the listen to silence technique, you got the deep breathing, you got the focus, just focusing on the darkness or when you close your eyes, you got the belly breathing technique, you got the just focusing on one chakra at the time technique. Like, it's a lot of different techniques dealing with meditation. It's not just listening to silence all the time. Sometimes people don't get enough silence, and they really need to sit in the silence to actually hear the breathing and to be able to focus. It's a lot of different problems that you could be having as a beginner, because you might not know that these other techniques actually help out. Like they work hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you might need to start out with the breathing technique. Now, sometimes you could start out with the deep breathing technique, then you end up with the listening to your breath technique, and then you end up with the 4-7-8, and then at the end you end up with the do nothing technique, all in like an hour. It's different things that you could do to help progress, to help get you through a good meditation. Number two, make time to meditate. A lot of people know about all these techniques and stuff, but if you don't make time to do it, you will understand what it means when it say the devil fell from heaven. Because what happens is your consciousness begin to fall from this heavenly state, and you begin to think with your lower nature again, and start to, eat unhealthy and worry about the bad things, worry about the negative things in life, and you start to feel those negative thoughts coming back and having control over your physical form. Like, it sucks, but that's the reality of it. Now, there's the different techniques. Sometimes people need the different techniques, and one work better than the other. That's why they exist. Basically, you have to make time for it, and you have to be dedicated. Now, number 3 is read. Read the ancient information. Find some type of religion or something. Find a book to read dealing with this type of information, so it can help you break the barrier, break that consciousness up, so you be able to understand exactly what's going on. Because what happens is the words become flesh, and when the breath becomes flesh, that separates you naturally, but you don't have the instructions to be able to live that lifestyle. The books actually help you. Like when I read the Bible, Christ, his words help me break that consciousness of feeling fear, and fear helps you get through that door in your mind. So I use the Bible as my little cheat code to get there. However, I actually believe that in the Christ character, I believe in the Jesus story. I know y'all don't, a lot of people out there, they can't stand even hearing the name Christ or Yeshua, or knowing the history or knowing anything. They think it's all plagiarized, and I got videos on this channel dealing with that type of information. I don't believe none of it was plagiarized. I believe everything happened that was divine, and I can't change nothing, no history that happened in the past. So whether it happened or not, the stories broke my consciousness. Dealing with certain things, like when I used to walk around, I used to be an atheist. I used to be like, yo man, the church just be robbing people. And then when I read the Bible and Christ went to the church and literally seen, you already know the story. I talk about it all the time. When he started flipping the tables of the people out there who turned the house of God into the den of thieves. I talk about that scripture a lot because it hits on point, and then you understand exactly where I'm coming from. It broke my consciousness and let me realize, it made me do my own research and was like, wait a minute. He's saying the same thing that I be saying. And I used to, I started reading the Bible. I started reading the Quran. I started looking into my history about the Egypt stuff. And I started to see why I wanted to know why did they deem it evil and whatever the case may be, and what happened during the Alexandria period, Ptolemy, dealing with the Sarabian, all that stuff, the Septuagint, like the history gets deep. And I like to introduce that in the information to help you break the consciousness, to let you dig deep and to know that this information, this meditation information, been secret for a reason. And a lot of the information that been back then came from this type of consciousness that brings on. So you need that information to break the barrier. I know I clouded a whole lot of stuff in this little, number 3, but I have to give you the rundown. Like, find something to read to help break that barrier that this world, break this fear thing that this world implement into you since birth. You know what I mean? Anyway, number 4, do not smoke, drink, eat, be tired, have sex, okay, before you meditate. Don't smoke, eat, drink, have sex, do nothing that's going to tire you before you meditate. That's very important because it weakens your spirit. You need the energy to actually have a good meditation. I didn't say you couldn't do it at all. No, I didn't say that you know what I mean. I didn't say that you couldn't eat, you don't sleep. I didn't say none of that. Some people use meditation for sleep. Some techniques help you sleep, but I'm going to leave that alone. But right now, I'm just telling you, don't do none of these things, because what happens is you have a certain level of consciousness before you have sex, before you eat, before your body feel, tired, everything. There's a certain level of consciousness up here. That energy, this spiritual energy you need to actually rise the energy, from the Dantian all the way to the crown chakra. I don't want to go too much into it because this is just beginner's knowledge. You know what I mean? That's like experience. It does get into experience knowledge. I didn't say I'm better than you. I don't, I don't know more than you. I'm not trying to make myself seem anything. You know what I mean? I just want you to understand where I'm coming from dealing with this type of information. Don't do none of that before you meditate. You might not even want to do it after you meditate. You know what I'm saying? But it's to get you away from that stuff and to actually bring yourself back to God. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying you're God, even though we are in the image of God. You know what I'm saying? Even though it says that in the holy books, we made an image of God, whether it was clay or whether it was dirt. I'm just saying. So we look like what God would look like. And all our senses is literally, this world cater to all our senses. We're able to touch, you know what I'm saying? We're able to taste, we're able to hear, and everything caters to us in our senses. So we are in the image of what the invisible creator would look like. However, where we will die like men. It says that in the books too. You might be in the image of God, but you will die like men, and we are all able to sin, and we all, you know what I'm saying, everything comes from within. Now, we're going to go into, just don't do it. You know what I mean? Don't do that before you want a good meditation, don't do none of that before a meditation. Anyway, number 5 is lessen the time. If you can't get through a good meditation, lessen the time. Instead of doing it, for a whole hour, do it for about 15 minutes. If you can't do it for 15 minutes, do it for about 5 minutes, and do it sporadically throughout the day. And that should get you through a good meditation. I just wanted to introduce, number one, try different techniques. Number two, plan and set a time to do it. Number three, read. Find something to read to break your consciousness of the fear barrier that you got going on, so you can get through that door in your mind, and you could finally understand where people is coming from and experience possibly your third eye being open, or just you experiencing that bliss state where you don't got a bunch of thoughts controlling you. Number four, don't smoke, eat, drink, or have sex and stuff before you do a meditation, because it will ruin the qualities that comes with it. And number five, lessen the time. You don't have to do it for a whole hour every time. That's the video for today. This SIG official. Check out my Silences God SoundCloud, where I dedicate my music. My last song was called Get Conscious. You know what I mean? I can see the light. I make positive music. SoundCloud description and the link in the description below. It's not selling nothing. It's all free. You know what I mean? So is this information. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'm Audi like a belly button. Please hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you want more information like this, because YouTube, this is what I wanted to do YouTube for anyway. So they stopping all the everything else. They're pretty much demonetizing anything, and possibly this information could get demonetized too. But I don't really care. I enjoy making this information, and this is what I wanted to do in the first place. I didn't want to do all this. They had you chasing after a bag on YouTube all day, and I don't even care about it no more. Care less. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to change me to chase after money. I'm not doing it. So anyway, enjoy the rest of you guys' day. I'm out. Peace.